Hello, my dear students. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kendriya Vidyalaya Sankatan's online classes. Students, today we will be into our fifth and final session of our chapter of evolution. And the topic for today's discussion will be a very, very interesting topic, that is about origin and evolution of man, isn't it? So, how did we evolve and what are the different stages to which we have evolved? All these phases we will look into this topic today. Now, already discussed before, we have got 5 learning units here, 5 sessions, and now we are into the 5th session of our last session of our chapter. Now, what are the learning objectives and outcomes that you will be able to learn at the end of the session? Now, you will be able to describe the successful story of evolution of man with the language skills and self-consciousness, right? Don't you agree with me? Isn't it? So, humans have evolved, okay? Humans have evolved in such a way that the evolution of man is linked with the evolution of language skills and self-consciousness, right? And also the sequence of hominids evolved and the characteristics of modern man, right? So the ancestors of a human being, the ancestors of modern man, and what were their characteristics, who was the first hominid, we will look into certain aspects of these phases. Then we can also draw an evolutionary tree of man from Dryopithecus to Homo sapiens sapiens, that is a modern thinking man, okay, right from our ancestors, right, Dryopithecus to Homo sapiens, we will see an evolutionary tree. We'll also discuss the ancestors of present day modern man and his course of evolution. So how today the humans have evolved and then how they have been occupying every corner of the planet, every place in the planet. So that also is a very, very interesting aspect to note. Compare the different skulls of primates and hominids to understand the size of brain. So we'll see through a diagram, through illustration, how the size of the brain has been getting reduced through successive evolution, right? Now, before we go into this chapter or into this topic, you already know that the origin of species of plants and animals, how it has occurred. If you remember very well, the last session we have talked about how the plants and animals have evolved during the course of evolution, okay, and then also the condition required for the appearance of organisms among the bryophytes, or then after that we have the gymnosperms and angiosperms, and among the animals like non-chordates, that is invertebrates, and then slowly the fishes and amphibians, then through reptiles, aves and mammals, okay. So all this is a different story and already we have gone into that part. Let us go into the discussion part of our today's session, okay. Now, human evolution is a very, very interesting aspect, and it is such a topic and such a concept that it is a never-ending topic. Okay, so why is it so? Because every day and here in the newspapers or in the TV channels, we are scrolled with the new and new inventions and discoveries regarding how humans have evolved. So every day, the excavation purposes, the excavation part is going on throughout the world, and scientists, right, paleontologists are discovering any one of the fossils, maybe of bones or teeth or jaw or skulls, to identify how is the evolution of man so interesting and so promising. So in that way, suppose if we go into the details of this, now around 15 million years ago, now there were 2 primates, namely Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus. They were existing, right? These were completely hairy and they walked like gorillas and chimpanzees. Okay, now if you look at this Dryopithecus was usually more ape-like. Yeah, Dryopithecus was more apes-like. Apes, when we talk about apes like gorillas, chimpanzees, orangutans, all they belong to apes. And whereas Ramapithecus was more man-like, right? Then around these actually Dryopithecus, they had very arms and what you call legs of the same length. They have the large brain and they ate soft fruits, okay, and they walk like gorillas and chimpanzees, okay. Then Australopithecines or Australopithecus probably lived 2 million years ago in the East African grasslands, and it had a brain capacity of 450 to 600 cubic centimeters. And these Australopithecines hunted with stone weapons and essentially they ate fruits. So the fossils of these early humans, the early humans probably indicate that they were completely vegetarians, and they were eating only the food that was available at that time. So they hunted, but they ate fruits. Then around 2 million years ago, right, there were some fossils were found in East Africa, right, and we have the first human, that is the first hominid, and it was called Homo habilis. The first human-like hominid was Homo habilis, and usually this Homo habilis had a brain capacity of 650 to 800 cubic centimeters, and they also did not eat meat. Okay, so the Homo habilis is considered to be the first human or hominid, right? So from the Homo habilis, we had Homo erectus. So see how the evolution is going on. Homo erectus, the fossils were discovered in Java in 1891, and they probably lived around some 1.5 million years ago and had a brain capacity of 900 cubic centimeters. Now, what do you observe here? What do you observe? As we are moving towards the modern man, as we are moving towards the advanced man, the thinking man, the brain size has been getting reduced slowly and slowly, isn't it? So here, if we want to just have a look at this Homo erectus, from the fossils obtained from Homo erectus from different parts of the world, so it was revealed that they probably ate meat, right? They probably ate meat. So here we can say from Homo erectus onwards, which is actually now, since the fossils are discovered in Java, therefore they are also called Java man. They're also called Java men, and then they are the probably ones who ate meat. Now from the Homo erectus, we had Homo sapiens, that is the primitive man, which we call them as a Neanderthalensis. Okay, Neanderthalensis, and the fossils were found in East and Central Asia. Okay, and they must have been lived between 100,000 to 40,000 years before, right? And they had a brain capacity of 1400 cubic centimeters. Now, what is the special about these Homo sapiens Neanderthalensis? Okay, now till now, these Homo sapiens Neanderthalensis, they used to protect their body by hides. That was the important feature of these man, that is a primitive man, ancient man. So they used to protect their body with hides, and also they buried their dead. So in one sense, we can find out how the brain was developing in the right manner, and also how the emotions and the self-consciousness was on rise. Okay, so they buried their dead, and they moved across continents and developed into distinct races. Okay, so they moved, they just wander. Okay, they just wander here and there, and then they cross continents, okay, seas and oceans and all, and they just found out every part of the world today. Then after the Homo sapiens Neanderthalensis, then came the Homo sapiens sapiens, that is the modern man, that what we say the thinking man, the modern man or the thinking man. So this modern man, during the ice age of between 75,000 to 10,000 years ago, the modern man arose. Okay, and since he was a thinking man, and the brain was more developed than compared to the earlier sequences. So therefore they moved across the globe and learned to cultivate plants and domesticate animals. Okay, then, and here if we also find out that because since it was a thinking man, if you can see the cave arts, isn't it? So around 18,000 years ago, the cave art developed, and they also have done some agriculture part. Okay, so developed cave art, agriculture, and also they started as human civilization. Okay, then around 18,000 years ago, the prehistoric cave art developed. So if you just go through the various fossilized species of different part, you will be able to know how these how the modern man has arisen during the course of evolution. So it's a very, very interesting topic to understand. Okay, so here if you look at this diagram, children, you will be able to know so the entire evolution of man with respect to their brain capacities. Okay, so as the human, that is as the modern man comes into existence, the brain capacity has gradually reduced, right? So the brain capacity is gradually being reduced. Okay, so in that way we can find out how the humans have evolved during the course of time. Okay, children. Now here is another diagram to make you understand how the flow chart of the showing the flow chart showing the man, there is evolution of man from the Dryopithecus. So here we look at that some 20 to 25 million years ago we have the apes, it is Dryopithecus, right, which was more man, that is ape like, and then from Ramapithecus, which was more man like, from there Australopithecus, okay, and then we have a Homo habilis, then Homo erectus, and then we also have the Homo sapiens, another race coming out, Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, and also we have a Homo sapiens, and lastly we have Homo sapiens sapiens. Okay, children. So look at that, the entire thing here, if we go through that, the size, that is the brain size, has been gradually reduced slowly and slowly. Okay, children. So that is for today's topic. Let us go into the recapitulation part of the today's session. So today you have learned among the evolution, that is the origin and evolution of man is the most interesting and very successful with respect to the knowledge, with respect to the language skills and the self-consciousness. They understand the evolution of man to modern day man through gradual changes, right from Dryopithecus, how the changes have occurred. They compare the different stages of man with respect to brain size, which is gradually reduced. Okay, children. Now let us go back into the topic, that is some instant questions for you, right? Among the following, which was more man-like? So we have got four choices, four multiple choices here: Dryopithecus, Ramapithecus, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. So you know it is more man-like is Ramapithecus, right? So next, let us see. The first hominid was Homo erectus or Homo sapiens, Homo naledi, and Homo habilis. I think you are absolutely correct. It is Homo habilis, the first hominid. Right. So fossils discovered in Java, they reveal the next stage. So which stage are we talking about here? The Java man, commonly called Java man. Is it Homo habilis? Is it Homo erectus? Is it Homo sapiens, or is it Homo sapiens sapiens? Exactly, it is Homo erectus. Okay, children, let us go to the next one. When was a prehistoric cave art developed? Prehistoric cave art developed around about 16,000 years ago. B, around 15,000 years ago, about 18,000 years ago, about 19,000 years ago. It is exactly 18,000 years ago, right? So we have the choices here. Those who got the correct answers, very good, good attempt. Keep it going. And also we have some questions for you as a home assignment. We are given a small matching for you. Find out these answers for these questions. Write them in your homework notebook and please submit to your biology teacher, right? So you can even good matching also can be given. And we have some other questions as well for you. Okay, can we call human evolution as adaptive radiation? Think about it. Then try to trace out the various components of human evolution. So we have given some hints for you, like for example brain size and function, skeletal structure, dietary preference, how there was change. Then also trace out the evolution of horse by using internet and discussions or any other resources. So just like evolution of man can be traced out, we can even trace out the evolution of horse in that way. Okay, children. So for example, if you want to have a further reading on this topic, you can go for the NCERT exemplar reference books, good reference books which are matter a lot. We got some website links even for you, and also we have got the YouTube channel. We can just link it directly and go into the topics. Okay, children. So this presentation is made completely for academic purposes by using the following resources. Only biology textbook and that is NCERT Diksha platform have been used here, and this is Sergio Pasha, right, presenting you the session for today's session. And these are the task force members who have been behind for the presentation of the entire lessons. Thank you very much for viewing. This is a ZIT presentation, ZIT Bhubaneswar presentation. Keep watching. Thank you very much.